Hi everyone, it's Skillshot from 99 Gaming. This is The Walking Dead Season 7, Don't Blame Daryl. So before we get started, I want to give each of you a warning. This will contain spoilers, predictions, and also some debate. So by now, you've probably seen some of the leaks that are going all across the internet. The prediction is that Abraham and Glenn will die, but that's not the real twist. The real twist is how it goes down, and I'm going to discuss that a little bit. I'm going to clarify some of my comments because in a previous video, I actually said I was a little bit upset at Rick, I was a little bit upset at Daryl, and then I had to kind of get immersed with exactly what this group is seeing and what's going on. So keep in mind, they've only known Negan for about 10 minutes. They have no idea who he is, what he does, and he comes out and makes the comment, "I'm going to beat the holy hell out of one of you." So the group has no choice but to take him at his word for a couple reasons. One, they're kind of defenseless, but number two, he went through this whole speech, New World Order, and this is just the way things are at this point. So you're making the assumption he's going to kill one person. They play along with the game. No one interferes, or they're going to cut the boy's other eye out. So eeny, meeny, miny, mo. And finally, they choose Abraham. Abraham is ready to die. He's ready to give his life for the group. Negan selects him, and of course he is going to beat him down. During this beatdown, there is no interference. There is no interruption because they trust this man they've only met for 10 freaking minutes. They have no other choice. Abraham dies for the group. He gives his life for Rick and everyone else that's out there. Doesn't even fight back. He basically makes a couple comments, but he goes down and everybody else is just left helpless to watch it. So end of conversation, done. We move on to the next episode. Negan got what he wanted. He beat the holy hell out of one person. The group didn't interfere. But that's not enough because the group is not broken down yet. So this psychopath, this person who made this agreement that you trust, that you believe it's the way it is, now he needs to intimidate someone else. So what does he do? He wants to start going around picking person by person, putting a bloody bat in their face. So we can't even begin to imagine what is going on through each individual's head at this point. You just saw someone that you're close to get beat down. This guy makes a deal with you, and now, okay, let us go. It's time to move on. But no, it doesn't. That's not enough. Now it's time to sort of go around and play the game a little bit more. So if you're there, you're thinking, you know what, this is just going to be an ongoing thing. We just went through this nursery rhyme, and now he's over by Rosita. He's going to beat down Rosita next. And then what happens if he beats down Rosita? Then he's going to pick someone else. And this may go on to the delight of the entire Saviors over and over and over again. So when I first watched this, and I saw that Daryl had interfered, I was upset because I'm thinking, if Daryl would have just kept his cool, we would still have Glenn. But to Daryl's defense, Daryl is very protective, so he sees that Rosita potentially could be next. You know, think about the relationship and the bond that Daryl created with Beth. Think about the relationship and the bond that Daryl created with Carol. I mean, so many times when all the chips were down, Daryl is a person that's been there. And let me give a caveat to this and say, I am not a Daryl fanboy. I know I sound like it right now. I'm actually... Abe's my dude. I mean, Abe is the person. I turn on the show and I watch for Abe. So I've never been a huge Daryl fan, and I think that's why it was easy to dislike him. But then going back through the episodes and seeing all the things that he does and all the emotion when you think he's totally turned off to it, he's the one that actually stands up and defends people. So Daryl, with the last little bit of strength, shot in the shoulder by Dwight, musters his last little bit of courage to leap up and attack Negan, something that no one else in the group had the courage to do. And I know the end result, reading through some of your comments, it's like, Daryl did this, and Daryl got Glenn killed, and I hate Daryl. Now you're seeing all this, everybody hates Daryl. But can we really blame Daryl? I mean, it's in his nature to defend, and Daryl is trying to do something like he's going to kill before he gets killed. Because, once again, you have no idea what Negan's going to do. He just told you he was going to kill one person, and he blatantly lied to you. So maybe it wasn't a blatant lie. Maybe he was just toying with the group a little bit more, and he wasn't going to kill a second person. But how do you know that? You have no behaviors in order to trust this person. You gave him the benefit of the doubt for the first 10 minutes he was giving a speech, and then you see this continue to go on after witnessing a bloody death of someone you're extremely close to. You have to react. So once again, I do not blame Daryl. I know in the previous video I did say that there was a little bit of hard feelings and a little bit of, I was very upset at it. But instead, I actually blame Rick. I don't blame Rick for not interfering with Negan at that moment. I blame Rick for not being prepared. Look, I know he's a father, and you guys will say, as a parent, you got to understand it. I read all of your comments, so thank you guys for sending me that feedback. But think about all the missteps that Rick took along the way that he could have better had his group prepared. Furthermore, if you're a leader, you have to be willing to die for your group. And while Rick was doing this, his group was kind of out there. He wasn't getting the intel. He wasn't prepared. He wasn't doing all the due diligence that he needed to prepare for the Saviors. When they went to the compound, he thought it was one and done, that they've already solved the problem. So Rick's arrogance, Rick's lack of being prepared, Rick's relationship to a certain degree had made him a little bit softer, and the chips are down. You have to be willing to give your life for your team. Rick got caught in between being a father and being a leader. Abraham bucked up, was ready to die for the group. Daryl charged in, was ready to die for the group. Rick, after witnessing both of these deaths, actually said, I'm going to kill you. So it actually is sinking in. It's resonating at this point. Too bad it didn't resonate a little bit earlier, and maybe the group would not have been in the situation. Leave your comments below. My name is Killshot. I don't blame Daryl. Let me know if you blame Daryl. Peace.